Hi everyone, how are you? What are we talking about? Oh, yeah. Since there was such a good response to the last Q&A that I did, I figured I'd follow up with more questions that had come up and a few ones that had been sitting there that I meant to get back to and honestly just forgot. Let's start with this one. Did you know you always wanted to be a home builder? No. I was like every other kid growing up with visions of being a policeman or a hockey player or an actor. And to be honest, when I was in high school, I really lost focus of where I wanted to be. Now, my mother, who knows me best, thought I should become a comic book artist because I had an art table in the basement of our house where I would go and spend hours just drawing. But she also thought I should get into broadcasting because she felt I had a bit of a flair for that. But I ultimately chose home building because I had a bit of a passion for it and I enjoyed the challenges of the business. It allowed me to focus that creative side of me as well, and in lots of different ways. Next question would be, is it really you communicating with people on social media or is it someone else? Yes, it is most definitely me posting, commenting, and replying to people. And I'm sorry if it takes a little time, but I'm trying to fit this in between my regular job. But remember before, I just mentioned the creative side of me. And if you remember from one of my previous videos, my son described my job as probably the most boring on the planet. Social media is my part-time outlet for creativity, but much more. At first, I wasn't really interested, but I became intrigued with the possibilities of it. And as a marketer, that's the one thing you always look for is those analytics. Social can provide that from a business perspective, and it keeps you sharp on your messaging. It also allows you to share your knowledge and expertise. And it gives you a platform to share your authentic self. And what the hell, it's fun. It's fun if you make it that way. Here's a good one. The issue of allowing GSAs in high schools came up after the provincial election a few years ago. And the question is, what's your stance on this issue? It's a great question. And one, to be honest, I struggled with an answer on. Okay, to frame this out, I was a late blooming gay man coming out in my early 40s, but being married prior to that and having a teenage son. Okay, so I didn't have the same coming out challenges as someone in high school would have. But as a parent, I wasn't particularly happy with the kind of control the school system has. So I had to speak to a variety of people, right down to people from other ends of the country. And what I finally concluded is I would be in support of GSAs in the school, because I began to understand the challenges of coming out at that age and not having a support network at home. Now, I can't fully imagine how difficult that would be on a young LGBTQ person's mental health. That would be hurtful. Next question is, does the Shane Homes group of companies apply any green building practices to the homes they build? We do, but some of my answers might surprise you. Simply put, I could throw everything at a home to make it green, but would you pay me $30,000 more for that same sized home? How about 60 or 100,000 more? And that's the challenge with adding too many specifications on a new home. For example, we didn't add smart home technology until it was more affordable and easily available for to the consumer rather. I don't think it's fair to add in something that can't be serviced easily by the homeowner. So let's use solar panels as another example. My father wanted to make this a unique selling proposition for the past 30 years. Even now we could add them because there's more providers than before, but the cost versus return is what's challenging to pass on to the consumer, and they've told us that. Now, I'm not saying we don't have green building practices. We do. We have panelized our homes for the last 10 years, and our trade partners have their own programs to reduce, recycle, and reuse the waste that may end up on site. But our ultimate goal is still to build a great quality home at a reasonable price. The remainder is still up to the purchaser's idea of what they see value in. Remember, market research. Now, I hope you enjoyed the second part of my Q&A today, and if you did, let me know in your comments, and I'll make a part 3 later this year. And of course, hey, likes, shares, and comments are always appreciated. That's the idea with social, is you get the conversation going. So until then, earn it. Don't expect it. Take care.